good morning, good morning. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me during our early morning devotion. I want to help you lean into something that I've been studying for myself lately. I believe that there is a greater truth beyond the limited position we have been living. I think a lot of us have not taken the time to identify triggers. A lot of us have not identified cycles. There are certain behaviors that repeatedly show up in our lives, and it is our responsibility to find out why. Why? And so the Bible teaches us, it says, in all you're getting, get an understanding. In all you're getting, get an understanding. Angela, it is possible for us to love God and be destroyed. It is possible for us to love God and not have an understanding. And so oftentimes we could find ourselves going through difficulties. No one is exempt. And once you start to discover there is a better way, once you start to discover that you have been doing it wrong, once you discover that you can create the level of discipline necessary to thriving, your life will be better for the rest of your life. But you've got to do the work. This morning I want to dive into the subject. Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Well, uncovering triggers is necessary for effective living. If I want to live my best life, I have to pay attention to what's been holding me back. Okay? What's hurting my process? Okay? What is it? Now, here's the deal. You can't be afraid to go there. You can't be afraid to go there. Now, sometimes going there is going to be painful, but that's going to have the growing pains that's going to be necessary for you to thrive. So why does this keep happening, Jamal? Why does this keep happening? Well, you can't be afraid to ask that question. And you can't be afraid and lazy when it comes to going in to assess. I've met people who repeatedly experience the same thing, don't want to go there, just keeping their fingers crossed, hoping and wishing that God will work it out. Hoping and wishing. And what happens is that becomes their accustomed way for doing life. In other words, well, it's going to work itself out. It's going to work itself out. Well, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Not having an understanding could be hurting you. So let's look at this. The Bible says in Lamentations chapter 3 verses 40, Lamentation chapter 3 verses 40, it says, let us examine our ways and test them, and let us return to the Lord. Let us examine our ways, beautiful people. Let us examine our ways. A lot of us are examining our cousins' ways, our auntie's ways, our spouse's ways. The question is, let us examine our ways, test them. Is the way you showing up working for you? Come on. Is the way you're showing up working for you? I am on a mission, Jamal. I'm on a mission, man. And listen, anybody who is watching, anybody who's paying attention, I feel the Holy Ghost. Listen, anybody who's watching, anybody who's paying attention, the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, Ricardo Miller is in pursuit of becoming one with the teaching that he's presenting to the world. Okay, I'm talking about I want to become one with what my book says. I want to become one with what I teach on a weekly basis. I want to become one with the revelation that God has revealed to me. I don't want to know the truth and not apply the truth to have the benefit of the truth that I've discovered. So let us examine our ways and test them. See what's up. Come on, see. Now here's the deal. A lot of us aren't examining. So life can be filled with cycles of repeated setbacks. And a lot of people are there. That's where they are. Emotional outbursts, financial mistakes, strained relationships. You're left wondering, what in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? Why is all of this stuff happening to me? Why is all of this stuff happening to me? And sometimes here's the danger. Here's the danger. Two things: association and environment. Association and environment. Write those down. Association and environment. Sometimes we lean towards an environment that feeds what we're going through, and we associate ourselves with people who feed what we're going through. So if your environment is feeding what you're going through and your association is feeding what you're going through, you're never going to change. If it's a bad situation and you're going from crisis to crisis and your life is not getting better, but your environment is bad and your association is bad, let me tell you something: you're going to be in a bad place for a long time. Environment matters. Association matters. Let me tell you something. Environment matters. Association matters. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. To break free from environments demands a level of grit, a level of determination, a level of inner strength that would have you to break free from what you've been accustomed to. Your association matters. Your environment matters. One of the best things I did, glory be to God, was I got off the street and I started going to church. One of the best things I did was not only did I go to church, I decided to join Toastmasters. That was one of the best things I did. One of the best things I did was I decided that my friends, I wanted friends in my life who was going to level me up, who's going to push me to the next level. Come on. I started to have an appreciation for environments that were better. Your association and your environment. Let me tell you something. You will be nothing more than your environment and your association. So sometimes you have to tolerate certain things until you be the one to bring the environment up or bring the association up. But let me tell you something. If you could change environment, change it for better. If you could change association, change it for better. Let me tell you something. Why does this keep happening to me? The answer often lies in unexamined triggers. Unexamined triggers. What situation you find that leads to breakdown? Some people, you're constantly breaking down, you're constantly angry, you're constantly frustrated, you're constantly depressed, you're constantly broke, you're making money and you ain't got no money. Come on, you're in a crowded space, you work with it where there's a lot of people and you still don't have no friends. You're in every department at the church. You serve in every auxiliary. You serve every time there's a serving opportunity. And when it comes to evaluating your level of productivity in the earth, you're at the lowest level. You know how many people are in that state? They're not paying attention. They're just blinded to the fact that they've been locked into a busy window of going. And Lamentation chapter 3 verse 40 says this, Linda. It says, let us examine our ways and test them. Is life working for me? Is life working for me? Let me tell you something. Life is working for a lot of people. Life is working for a lot of people. But if your environment and your association is complaining about life, your environment says life is not working, and your association says life is not working, then guess what it's going to be said sooner or later? Well, my coach, you don't understand my truth. Yeah, your truth is you're stuck. Your truth is life ain't working for you. Your truth is you and your associates, you and your circle are all going through the same thing, and you all keep feeding that. Everybody is not there, but you're there because your environment says that you're there. Your association says that you're there, and now you've been feeding that in your mind, and now you're saying, well, I can't win for losing, and when it rains, it pours, and you don't understand, coach. That's just the way it is. And if that's what you're going to say, that's what you're going to believe. And if that's what you're going to believe, that's going to be your reality. And if that's going to be your reality, until you change that, which the more you lean into that, the more that's going to become a foundational truth for you. Now, you all know I'm talking. You all know I'm talking. Your foundational truth is being fed by you. That's powerful. Your foundational truth is being fed by you. The money you make in a week, some people are making in a day. Okay? The money you make in a week, some people are making in a day. You're struggling because you have chosen not to do the work to break free from the struggle. Okay? Everybody is not going through what you're going through. And you got to tell yourself, hold on, I'm a child of the King. I'm God's servant in the earth. I am an ambassador of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Why am I in this state? Why? I don't blame nobody. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. So here's the deal. Who and what pushes your button and why? Who and what? Traffic pushes my button. My neighbor pushes my button. My boss pushes my button. My spouse pushes my button. My children pushes my button. Why do you have a button? Why do you have a button? The Bible says, as much as possible, live peaceably with all men. How many of you have met people who are qualified to own where they're working? How many of you have met people who are the most highly skilled and the least respected in the room? They're the most highly skilled in the room, but the least respected in the room. What's wrong with that picture? Well, I don't know. You don't understand. I was raised on the wrong side of the track. You don't understand. If I was on this island, if I was in this city, if I was this color, if I had just gone to college, you know how many people gone to college and broke? You know how many people who haven't gone to college and rich? Do you know how many people? Well, if I had only gotten into church earlier, you know how many people been in church all their life and they ain't done nothing? Then you know how many people just came in church and God just literally shifted everything for them? There's a lot to study. There's a lot to stop justifying being stuck. Oh man, somebody needs to write that down. Stop justifying being stuck. Now let me tell you something. What I'm working on is a fight. It's going to demand that you fight. Listen, majority of what I say is repetitive stuff. Why? Because there ain't that much new stuff in the earth. There is just stuff that we still can't get past. We still can't get past. And until you break free, don't release that which is supposed to deliver you. My book, I've been reading Effective Living every other month, trying to get to become one. Now, I realize that here's the deal. In order to live life effectively, you got to burn the rule book. Let me say it again. In order to live life effectively, you've got to burn the rule book. This thing goes hand in hand. There are some belief systems I have to get rid of. I got to finish this up. So here's the deal. What's the problem? Let's look at a few things. Triggers are real. Okay? When we talk about why is this continuing to happen to me, we fail to realize triggers are real. Emotional, relational, financial strain oftentimes stresses us and make a reaction that is rooted to past pains and insecurity. Insecurity is real. Past pains is real, which brings about certain levels of trigger that causes us to respond the way we respond. You got to look at this. This is what I'm looking at. Jamal, that's why I haven't had my six-pack yet. Come on. That's why I haven't gotten the six-pack yet. Because triggers are real, and I've been leaning towards my triggers rather than disciplining myself to deny those triggers access to me anymore. I'm going to live above my triggers. Number two, guys, your mindset matters. Number one, triggers are real. Number two, your mindset matters. You have to look at your mindset. You have to look at your mindset. Miller, I just listen to teaching, but I don't apply teaching. Miller, I just read books, but I don't apply books. Miller, I just go to church, but I don't apply what the preacher says. As a matter of fact, here's the deal. I have some good friends, but I'm not learning from my good friends. I got people in my life who is doing well, but I'm not studying them, so I'm not doing better, and I'm associated with good people, but let me tell you something. Your mindset, why? Habits and thought patterns shaped by our experiences silently drives behavior until it is addressed. So you now have to go ahead and look at your patterns. I'm not outspoken. I'm shy. You know, I never to speak up for myself. You know, I don't even know how to speak to myself. Come on, I don't even know how to motivate myself. I don't even know how to identify my good habits and my bad habits. Your mindset, that's what you start telling yourself. And you say, well, you know, Miller could say that. It's really easy for him. He's a guy. It's really easy for him. He's from the Bahamas. It's really easy for him. Your mindset matters. So what am I doing? Every day I'm studying and I'm developing content 1 hour a day. Every day I'm putting in an hour. So my life is starting to become in proportion to the development of my mind. Show me what's in your head and I will show you what you're going to create and do in this life. Most people aren't developing the mindset to acquire what they desire. Your heart says you want better, but your mind says you're not prepared to do the work to become the person necessary to have the better that your heart desires. Okay? So, number 3, and I'm done. Watch this. Unresolved issues returning. Unresolved issues returning. Listen, what isn't healed is repeated. What isn't healed is repeated. Avoiding deep work keeps us stuck in cycles. I'm not going there. I'm not going there with my son. I'm not going there with my wife. I'm not going there with my boss. I'm not going there with the church. I'm not going there with my neighbor. Do you know how many hurt, broken people who aren't willing to go there? And they hear people like me. Some of them, they're affiliated with me. They won't get the book. They won't watch the session. And if they watch the session, they won't apply anything. They won't lean in. They have access, but they are not leaning in enough to get benefit, to break some cycles. This is a season we got to break some things. We're in the second quarter. And let me tell you something. Some things haven't changed from last year. Some things haven't changed. And you got to ask yourself why. You got to, don't evaluate and assess me. I'm trying to give you some content. Eat the watermelon, spit out the seed. Somebody, wait, Miller, you need a better mic. I do need a better mic. I need a better studio. I'm working on a studio. Miller, you need this, you need that. Listen, I watch people. They show up in church and they sit down and critique the preacher and their life messed up. They send their kids to school. You need to go get that book from your child, that math book, and go ahead and look at that child math book and look at the money and study the money and look at the math and say, hey, I got too much work to do on me to be critiquing others. Unresolved issues. You're not adjusting. You're not adjusting you. You've built a habit of assessing everybody else, but you're not adjusting you. I'm saying, guys, this week we're focusing on repeated behaviors that is causing us to go from crisis to crisis. So let me close this out. Reflect, identify your reoccurring patterns. Identify. All of us have reoccurring patterns. The question is, are your reoccurring patterns working for you? Okay? When you slow down and honestly examine your life, you will start to see the invisible roots beneath the repeated struggle. So there are some invisible roots that is connected to the repeated pattern. When you get paid, you spend your money unwisely. So now at the end of the month, it is costing you. God invites us to live in freedom, not frustration. God invites us to live in freedom and not frustration, but the freedom requires intentional self-awareness and a willingness to change. Everybody say a willingness to change. Write this down. Healing begins with truth. Healing begins with truth. I'm done, guys. And the truth starts with you facing the patterns that is holding you back. God bless you guys. Have a phenomenal day. Listen, guys, we're getting ready to kick in to a series of talk on burning the rule book. What is it that's been holding you back that you need to let go of so that you can live an incredible life? Remember this, healing begins with truth. Love and appreciate you. If you have not gone to my website and ordered this book yet, you could be missing out. Some of you haven't gotten the first book. You got to get that book as well. Listen, guys, all of us are on a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. And so as you embrace the journey, let me tell you something. Along the way, you've got to let go some stuff to become. You've got to do some work to become. You've got to address some stuff to become. I'm your life coach. I love and appreciate the fact that you show up. I'm not here to beat you up. I'm here to push you up. And I hope that you will grab what's for you so that you can build on it to become the person you were created to be. Don't run from your life. Embrace it. God bless you. Bye-bye.